I was lucky enough to have lived in Paris as a young man, spending a year between college and medical school working as a singing waiter in a restaurant called the Hollywood Savoy in the 2nd arrondissement. It's still open, but it looks like the waiters don't sing anymore. Tant pis. In any case, living on a French waiter's salary back then wasn't easy. There were no tips, so I subsisted, as I imagined Hemingway did in his movable feast days, on a diet composed almost entirely of wine, baguettes, and goat cheese. This might not have been the best for my GI health, but according to a new study at least, all that cheese intake might serve to protect my brain in the long term. That's right. This week, nutritional epidemiology rears its delicious head again as we discuss whether high-fat cheese eating prevents dementia. The public gets understandably frustrated with new studies that suggest a particular food or ingredient is healthy or unhealthy or should be avoided at all costs. And this paper will have the same effect. I mean, think of all the balanced diet advice you've ever heard. Eat a mix of fruits and vegetables, grains, and low-fat dairy. Yogurt, cottage cheese, and so on. And yet here we have a study appearing in the journal Neurology that turns that dairy part on its head. It's the high-fat cheese that's good for you after all. Throw out your part-skim mozzarella and pass the Stilton. For someone like me, this sounds too Gouda to be true. Okay, sorry, that's the last one of those. Let me walk you through how the study worked. Researchers used the Malmo Diet and Cancer Cohort, a long-running population cohort study out of Sweden. From 1991 to 1996, as new participants were brought into the study, they had a fairly detailed dietary profile created. This included data from food diaries, a dietary interview, of course, my old nemesis, the food frequency questionnaire, which I take to task in my book about medical research. Still, let's take it on faith that broadly, researchers captured how much dairy and how much high-fat dairy people were eating. After that initial collection of data, the participants were followed for around 25 years through the National Electronic Health Record System of Sweden. Researchers used those records to identify new cases of dementia and to subset those cases into vascular causes of dementia and Alzheimer's disease. These diagnoses were based on administrative codes, but validated in a subset with direct review, which revealed pretty high fidelity. All told, 27,670 individuals were analyzed. Of those, 3,208, that's 11.6%, developed dementia over those 25 years of follow-up. And the people who ate more high-fat cheese were less likely to be in that 11.6%. According to the study, they had about a 13% lower risk of all-cause dementia and a 29% lower risk of vascular dementia compared to those who didn't eat much high-fat cheese. There was no significant relationship between cheese intake and Alzheimer's disease. Okay, the first thing we need to remember when we're thinking about a nutrition study is that food is complicated. Cheese, even high-fat cheese, is not one thing, one chemical, the way a medication or vitamin or even amino acid is. It's an incredibly complex mixture of fats, proteins, enzymes, bacterial cultures, molds, salt, vitamins, minerals. Finding a signal of benefit from a foodstuff like cheese is problematic because even if it's real, we may never discover what thing in the cheese is driving that benefit. The study looked at other dairy intake as well, and frankly, that made me more confused about these cheese results. Like, if it's the protein content in the cheese that's beneficial, then we should see a protective signal from low-fat cheese intake, but we don't. If it's the fat that's protective, you'd think we'd see a protective signal from butter, which is about 80% milk fat, but we don't. So we're left having to wave our hands about some complex interaction of various brain-protecting substances that exist only in high-fat cheeses. Possible? Maybe. Likely? I don't think so. But beyond that, food is a cultural phenomenon. What you eat varies dramatically based on who you are and, dare I say it, what you can afford. It has not escaped my notice that high-fat cheeses, your mascarpones and aged cheddars, tend to be more expensive than their lower-fat counterparts. They, therefore, may be consumed by people of higher socioeconomic status. There's direct support for this hypothesis in the study, by the way. High-fat cheese eaters were younger, less likely to be female, had a lower BMI, and were twice as likely to have a university degree. They were also less likely to have hypertension, diabetes, or a cancer history. Now, the authors adjusted for these factors as best they could, of course, but adjustment is really never perfect and relies on how precisely you can measure those cultural factors that might associate with high-fat cheese intake. That's not easy. So I'm always inherently skeptical of findings of health benefits of foods that are a little more costly than their alternatives. I always felt like red wine was firmly in this category, and though no one has studied it, I suspect those who eat more foie gras also have better health outcomes. One mechanism that I do find plausible for a protective effect of high-fat cheese is via food substitution. The idea here is that when you eat certain high-fat foods, you may eat less of other foods that sort of scratch that same itch. Think red meat for the umami-ness of it all, or processed meats for the saltiness. The authors analyzed the data with this in mind and indeed showed that replacing the high-fat cheeses with some of these other foods increased dementia risk. This suggests that there may not be anything magic in cheese itself. Instead, cheese helps us resist the temptations of the foods that are really bad for our brains. Could be. Still, most people who see headlines about this study are likely to end up confused. What am I supposed to do? High-fat dairy or low-fat dairy? Gruyere or ricotta? We're all looking for that one simple thing we can do to change the trajectory of our health. But the truth is that there is no one simple thing. No one food that will prevent dementia, no one exercise that will give you six-pack abs, no one supplement that will keep you young and full of energy as time goes on. To really change the trajectory of our health, we have to be willing to change our lifestyles in pretty substantial ways. That's never going to be one simple thing. It won't be easy, and it definitely won't be delicious. With that said, though cheeses may not protect your brain over time, many will absolutely delight your senses in the moment. And if this paper or my commentary on it gives you a bit more permission to enjoy that baguette and chev, well, I think you should do so. Bon appetit. For Medscape, I'm Perry Wilson.